now that we know how to do present tense verbs, which is pretty easy, and if you need to review, you need to go back to YouTube and look up AR, ER, and IR verbs. That'll tell you how to conjugate it in the present tense. Now we're going to learn how to do it in the past tense. So, by now we know some verbs. And now we are just going to learn the past tense. So, we know step one, all we do is take off the infinitive, but here's your endings. Este, o. This one right here. You might want to put a big fat star by it because, remember, the O makes you think it's in the yo form, but it's not in this case. It has an accent mark to distinguish it from the other ones. Ambos, which is the exact same as the present tense. Astes, and aron. These are the endings you're going to use for the past tense. Now, the past tense is called el pretérito. When you hear me say that, you know we're talking about the past tense. El presente would be the present tense. So for ER and IR, the endings look like this. I, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. Okay? So if you want to talk about something that you did, maybe yesterday or last week or last year, you're going to choose between these endings to figure out or to express what you're talking about. So let's use the verb correr. We know that correr means to run. So to tell someone I ran yesterday, which is in the past tense, it's not I run, but it's I ran, we are going to take off the infinitive like we always do. And then we have to figure out what ending we need, okay? So for I ran, well, it could be A. We could use that one maybe. But in this case, it's probably not advisable because this isn't an AR verb. It's ER. So we need to go to our ER verb endings, which would make sense. So in the yo form, for I ran, it's I. Corri. I ran. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. Let's move on to a different verb. Let's use the verb informar, which just means to report or to inform. So let's express he reported. He reported the news last night. Well, to say he reported, take off the infinitive like we always do. Okay? We don't have the AR on there now, so now we just have to add the ending that's appropriate. For the ending, we are going to add an O because it's he reported and it's an AR verb. Okay? Let's do a couple more examples and then I think we've got it. Okay, let's ask a question. Did they, we'll say sing. Did they sing? Well, we know from Spanish 1 that we don't translate the word do. So in this case, we still don't translate the word did. There is no word for did or do, okay? This is just telling us that it's the past tense, and we need past tense endings, okay? So, of course, we need to know the verb for to sing, which is cantar, okay? We know that it's past tense because of the word did. So, now we just need to add the ending for the appropriate subject, which is they. So, take off the AR and add, which ending do you think we're going to add? Well, it's not going to be this one because it's not an ER or IR verb. Cantar is an AR verb, so it's going to be aron. Cantaron. But in order to ask a question, what do we need? A question mark. Did they sing? Okay? And that should be it for the preterite.